What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Yo, it's your man 100 Grand Ross with the Rock Never Stops. We got to talk about this game. Detroit Pistons squeeze out a victory against the Miami Heat. And boy, did this game have me on an emotional roller coaster. But we was hooping. We was hooping. We was playing our game. We was doing our thing. But man, ooh, oh my God. The highs and the lows. The highs and the lows. Man, yo, oh my God. Woo! The highs and the lows of this game. The highs and the lows of this game. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. It took me on a roller coaster. It had me gut crunch, cringing, heart thumping, big shoulder rocking, wearing, let's go. Then to a okay, we got it. Then to a oh, we not gonna start this shit again, are we? Oh, we really doing this again. Oh, we're really doing this. Oh God, we're doing this again. And then somehow we pull it out. Somehow JB Bickerstaff has the epiphany. I'm being sarcastic, of course, but he has this epiphany like, oh, play Dennis Jenkins, trustworthy ball handler, makes good decisions. Look, oh, the shit works. Shit we've been talking about the whole time. Look, we're going to dive into all of this. But before we do, as always, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I appreciate this community coming together before and after games, all the conversations that we have. We see how we're building. We see how we're building towards something. And I want to get into all of it. I want to get into all of it. I got my couch behind me all messed up. And I got my kid is home sick today, and she been man. Y'all should see my spot right now. Y'all should see my place. It's crazy right now. It's crazy. She made a fort. It is when kids make their fort, they need everything. They need all the chairs and the blankets and pillow. Look, I digress. We gonna get into this game. We gonna get into this game. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have to like almost like let myself woosah after this game. I hope y'all are taking a moment. Get your water, get your tea, maybe stretch out a little bit. You know what I mean? Stretch out, loosen the joints a little bit, take a deep breath. Because we got to get into this. What we saw today was the highs and the lows of Detroit basketball, of this team, of this team. This team is trying me. Oh my God. But in the best way. In the best way. Um, I love watching this team grow and develop. It's a beautiful thing. This game I appreciate it for so many reasons because it gave an opportunity to the guys that I wanted to see get an opportunity. Namely Dennis Jenkins, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson got over 30 minutes in this game. Um, Jaden Ivey almost got to 15 minutes. And the reality is, as gut wrenching as some of these plays are, not catching the ball, uh, trying to do too much at times. And it's not really do too much. It's just that you're not executing your move that well because you have to understand there's a difference between executing this move that you worked on 100 times, 200 times, 500 times against a 6'7" defender versus a 6'3" defender. Right? There's certain moves that you have to know are going to work in certain scenarios. And these are the moments you have to learn it. And most of the time, like these are young guys who learn to what we call cut your teeth, right? To sharpen your tools. Most of the time that gets done, either on a team that sucks and nobody really cares and nobody's really watching, or it's during the summertime where you get to like a Rico Hines run or something like that. But it's usually done in relative obscurity. Nobody really sees the mistakes. Well, when you're 15-3, everybody sees the mistakes, including me, including a fan, a critic, someone who's coming from a coaching perspective, a trainer, a perspective, someone who's looking for the execution of what I truly believe these guys are capable of doing. I didn't see anything out there that I would be like, that ain't you. That ain't you. They played within themselves, except maybe to the very end. And it's like this kryptonite. It's like this kryptonite. Like Cade feels he has to prove something. And it's these stress moments that even he's learning something. He's learning something about himself, right? The coaching staff is learning something about him. His teammates are learning something about him. We have to all accept Cade Cunningham will us to a victory as much as he will run us into the ground into a loss. I'll say that again. We are learning about Cade Cunningham that he will us to a victory, meaning make shots, make plays, blocks, rebounds, steals, get out in transition, hit threes. He can will us to a win as much as he can run us into the ground into a loss. He runs us into the ground when he hijacks the offense, when he begins to become too ball dominant, when he's not empowering and trusting his teammates and playing off of them instead of trying to control the whole thing. And then he begins to over dribble and he starts turning it over again and again and he compounds it and compounds it. And then his defense becomes more lax, begins playing with his hands instead of his feet. That last play where Cade Cunningham reached in on Norman Powell could have easily gone the Miami Heat way and given Norman Powell free throws to tie the game. Okay, it wasn't conclusive. Evidence that it should go the other way. Okay, we got the ball. We lucked out. Next, Dennis Jenkins makes a layup. We're up 4, right? Gives us that space. That's the swing. That's how close it was. Cade almost ran us into the ground for a loss. Now, some of this I'm gonna look at also. JB Bickerstaff did a good job of getting Cade out before the end of the third, albeit it was only a minute and change before the third. He probably should have came out probably closer to, if I'm honest with you, probably around the 7-minute mark. I remember looking up at 7 minutes and I said, "Oh, the Pistons are tired." The tempo of the game changed. It was like a official kind of fatigue type moment on both sides, where both sides were like, "Ooh, we've been running a lot. We've been pressuring a lot." And I thought at that moment it would have been a great move to start bringing in guys to maintain that pace and that energy. Because then you can always bring Cade back in towards the end of the third. But once you see him start slowing down and becoming ball dominant, uh, not passing the ball up ahead as much, that's usually a good sign, especially when he does that slow down, try to walk you down type of posting up from the 3-point line type of thing. Once you start seeing that body language, it's like he's tired. He's tired. And you guys got to have a signal. You know what I mean? You got to have a something, throw up a C for Cade. You're tired. You're tired. You know what I mean? Call a timeout for him. Hey, let's run these types of actions right now. You know what I mean? Like, we have to start learning our superstar as much as the rest of our team. And every superstar has their things, right? LeBron, for a time, didn't want to go to the free throw line, right? There was that little spurt in there, right? There was a time, let's see, guys like, I don't know, Joel Embiid shrinks in the playoffs. Luka Doncic can get a little in his head and lack some maturity, right? Everybody has their thing until they work through it, until they get better from it. But until they do, we have to have some sort of like built-in mechanisms for support. And it looks like, if I'm honest, it's going to be Dennis Jenkins. Dennis Jenkins is going to be the solvent for Cade Cunningham's tired ball dominance, where he starts turning the ball over and over again. I don't think he got the memo that the guy guarding him, his nickname is Off Night. He has a defensive nickname called Off Night, meaning a guy like that, the more you dribble against him, the more opportunities you give him to disrupt your handle and to knock the ball away and get steals. And guys like that, the more you go at them, the more they take on that personal challenge. I used to love that stuff. I used to love that. Like, oh, you're going at me? Yes. Yes. That boy was hungry. Facts. And K didn't seem to get the memo. Yo, I got 32 people in the chat. Go ahead and smash the like button for me. I appreciate it. Appreciate this community. Remember, this is an interactive live. I may not get to all your comments, but if you send me a super chat, I'll try to pause and talk about that topic. Cade, you have to trust your teammates. You have to. And I'll say this, what's interesting is that the first half, even into the third quarter, you were playing a very ball dominant game, but it was very decisive. And so it didn't disrupt the flow of the team. You were getting downhill in what we refer to as north and south, what coaches oftentimes refer to as going north and south, where we encourage our players to go either forward or back. Either you're backing up to get distance from your defender so you can see the court and make the pass, or you're going north and you're going straight to the basket. This minimizes the ability for help defenders to come in and dig at the ball and try to knock it away. And it maximizes your speed in getting to the rim or getting to your spot. This was a game almost of two halves for Cade Cunningham. First half, very decisive, but I think he had his legs about him. He came in, he was like, let's go. And then in the second half, especially after that 7-minute mark, he got tired. And he was able to get away with still getting some buckets because I think the Miami Heat were also tired and Cade could just kind of bully them a little bit. But then when he came out, about a minute and a half to go in the third quarter, JB brought him in really early at around 9 minutes. And I was real interested. I was like, wow, okay, let's see. Let's see. Because remember, everyone's still learning each other. JB's only in his second season with the Detroit Pistons. This is his first season having Ivy, Cade, and Asar all available all together. Okay, he's figuring it out. He's figuring out these new players, building continuity. You have to learn your guys. And he brought in Cade early. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this plays out. Immediately, I could tell you Cade was still tired. Immediately, I could tell you Cade was still tired. We may need to go from 2 minutes, 3 minutes or 2 minutes in the third quarter, subbing him out, and then bringing him back in at around 7 minutes in the fourth quarter so he can close it out for us. The more rest we can give Cade going into that fourth quarter, the better he is at closing out the game. But we also need a secondary ball handler that we can trust. And the reality was the moment was too big for Asar Thompson. I'm going to get to Asar Thompson. The moment was too big for him in that fourth quarter. Some of it is also, as I've said before, when you are a dog, when you are a competitor, as Cade is, when you have the ball and it's crunch time, it's go time, you're looking at your teammates and you can look in their eyes and you can see the energy of a guy who says, give me the ball, I got this, has that level of confidence versus a guy who's like, you can pass me the ball. I'm okay. I'm probably not going to pass you the ball. Even though I probably should, but you got to have that look. You got to have that confidence, which is why I like Jaden Ivey so much because he has that confidence. I mean, Jaden Ivey was fucking up in this game. I mean, let's be real. He was fucking up. It was rough. The bad fouls, right? He's yelling at the ref saying, "I got all ball." We looked at the replay. You're nowhere near the ball, bro. It was an obvious reach in. You didn't move your feet. You're still giving great effort, but we needed to let him move through it. But then he gets the ball in rhythm. It's swung to him, coming down the court, catch, shoots that three ball with confidence from 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Nothing but net. Okay. That's because that's who he is. That's who he is. So that's why I like him alongside Cade Cunningham because he needs to see another monster who goes, nah, give me the ball. No, give me the ball. No, give me the ball. So the moment I get tired, I can give you the ball knowing that you're going to play like I'm going to play. Like you can handle the moment. Even if you mess up, you can handle the moment. The moment's not bigger than you. You got it. But we also discovered in this game, Dennis Jenkins also has it. Now, I wasn't finished with Asar Thompson. Let me go back to Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson is a hell of an athlete. A hell of an athlete with such diverse skill. It's just very uncanny. It's very uncanny. And seeing him drive to the basket and finish over the top of Tyler Hero, I was like, okay, I like this. I like that he seems to have figured this part out. I can go ahead and finish over the top of a Tyler Hero. And there's other things that he's figuring out when it comes to attacking downhill against, especially against smaller defenders. And this is something that even Cade has to learn. When you're going up against a smaller defender, you don't want to take more dribbles. You're not necessarily trying to outquick them to the basket. You're just trying to get your body on them and then turn and shoot over the top. That's what you should be trying to do. Not blow by, not try to get, no, over the top. Use your advantage. You're 6'7, you're 6'8. They're 6'2, 6'3, 6'4. Shoot over the top. You're stronger, you're longer, you're more athletic. Shoot over the top. But these are things you have to learn the hard way. You got to have a coach start showing you, like, hey, man, you keep getting this type of defender on you. Okay, you get this 6', 6'1, 6'2 dog defender who just wants to turn you 52 times up and down 94 feet of court. And when you let them, this is what happens, especially when you get tired over and over. Look, I just want to see I want to see a whole video. Somebody should do a video of all Cade Cunningham's turnovers. I guarantee you, you will see commonalities. I guarantee you will see commonalities. You will see over dribbling against smaller players, picking up the ball in bad spots, forcing the ball in tight spaces against multiple defenders. You'll see the same over and over, over and over. Somebody just put up a highlight reel of Cade's turnovers. They're the same turnovers. Nah, I talked about Asar, talked about Ivy. We don't have to get too much on Ivy because Ivy is still getting himself back into the flow. And that's one thing that I really have to like keep bringing myself back to. These guys are still figuring out not just how to play with one another, but they aren't in a rhythm yet. Asar Thompson is not in a rhythm. Like I was saying last summer, what I had hoped is that Asar would have did something very similar to what Amin Thompson did. He went against Davion Mitchell to go one-on-one. We're going to play ones against probably one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA, which means probably in the world. And I'm going to try to get buckets on you. And what that does, it forces you to not only trust your body, but to highly attune yourself to the moves that you're working on, how you're practicing, your ball handling, your shooting, recognition of space and opening, distance, proximity, right? How close is he to be able to pull up, or do I need to pump fake or step through? Do I need to put my body on him? How much body can I put on him? How do I feel for the right amount of space to either do a little turn fade, or do I go up with more of a jump hook? Am I leaning, right? All these different things you have to learn with a lot of reps. Asar needs the reps, and unfortunately, he's getting those reps in game. And so he's getting kind of embarrassed a little bit and exposed in the game. Now, I'm glad that he has the confidence to keep going. And that's what's really important. You want these guys to be confident. You want them to play confident. You want them to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep trying to play their game. But it's going to be a learning curve. And that's what we're seeing with Jaden Ivey. Even with Asar Thompson, it's a learning curve. Ron Holland. And you know what? I need to give a shout out to Ron Holland. I need to give a shout out to Ron Holland. Hell of a game. 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds. No, sorry, 0 rebounds. But he had 3 assists and 3 steals. Monstrous steals. Momentum changing steals. Him and Dennis Jenkins came into the game in that second half, single-handedly took control of the game with their defense. And this is something that we've been talking about over and over and over and over and over and over, that JB Bickerstaff needed to double down on Detroit basketball, which is the defense. And you can't have your best defensive players at the fringe of playing time or the fringe of your rotation in games. Dennis Jenkins is one of your best defenders. How many plays that he made over and over and over again? He had 2 steals, 4 assists, 1 rebound. He had multiple plays where he got deflections. Either he deflected the ball or picked up the deflection and got out in transition. He had multiple plays where he challenged shots at the top. There was a certain play in transition, I think it was Khalil Ware. He had an opportunity to finish around the rim, and Dennis Jenkins timed it to where he jumped early. So he was already above Khalil Ware. That changed his angle that caused him to miss the layup. And then we got the rebound and went the other way, right? Like these are the plays that just show that he's not only ready for the moment, but he's skilled. He's insightful. There were even times where he was, I don't know if y'all saw, where he was like yelling at Cade for playing defense with his hands and just fouling. And he's like, yo, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I don't know the exact words. I would love to hear the exact words. I would love to, if there was a sound bite or an interview, but we don't need to. He was being checked. And then I want to say maybe it was Isaiah Stewart or somebody else came over and was checking him too. It's like, yo, hey, Cade, wake up, bro. Wake up. We need you in this game. We need you to get locked in, focus. Right? Dennis Jenkins' ability to do that right there, to check the star. Bro, I've been saying, who is going to be the leader? Those are leadership qualities. But let me also give Cade his flowers too. He saw we were struggling in the first half. Miami came out with big energy. They wanted this game. Remember, before this loss, they were the third best team in the East, third best record, I believe. They come in the game and they're ready to rock. They have a great game plan. They understand the Pistons are on a back-to-back. They understand our weaknesses. And so they pressure our ball handlers. Now they have a smaller lineup with Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, and Tyler Hero. I think that changes over time. I think they go a little bit bigger and bring either Norman Powell or Tyler Hero off the bench. Probably Norman Powell. But it's to say that they went small and put a lot of pressure on our ball handlers. And what it did is it created turnovers, generated a lot of turnovers. That's what kept them in the game. They weren't shooting well from the field. Our defense was holding it down, but we kept turning it over. And a lot of that is because we are not that good when it comes to executing offensively. We got a little K Duran pick and roll action, maybe a little, flair for Duncan Robinson, a little dribble handoff action, and then we might do a little, Jalen Duran with a little ISO at the top of the key, maybe a little post up for Isaiah Stewart, or we got Tobias Harris, who's money. I got to give him some love, right? Like we have little things that we can do, but it doesn't really flow yet. It's not this continuously flowing offense, especially against very good, disciplined, and disruptive defensive teams. The Orlando Magic, the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? The Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. Teams that play strong defense and are consistent and disciplined give us a lot of issues because they understand what our tendencies are and they play us into parts of our game that we have not taken steps in yet. We have not advanced in yet. Cade is still figuring out this. How much am I playing off the ball and on the ball? Ivy is still getting back his rhythm. Asar is still figuring out how much to assert himself. Yes, and as wild as 8 turnovers is in this game, it's even wilder to have 8 turnovers in back-to-back games. That's just as wild. And like I said, if somebody was to do a highlight video of all of Cade Cunningham's turnovers, they would look very much so the same. It would be the same types of turnovers. namely turning his back against smaller defenders instead of keeping them in front of him. He should be looking like James Harden. You face him up, but you just get low. And the moment they pressure, you go forward and you put that shoulder into him. And you go straight line, straight by him, north and south. You don't go east and west. And you definitely don't turn your back on him around the 3-point line, try to back him in all the way 20 something feet. All that's to say, this game tested us in all the ways that we continue to want to be tested. These are the games that expose us. These are the games that force us to see into ourselves where we have to grow and progress. This was a good win. It was an even better teaching point. This weekend between Boston, Orlando, Miami is probably one of the best stretches for this team to learn and to grow. This is one of the best stretches to learn and to grow. You know, there were certain moments I would also say that Cade showed me he was trusting his teammates. I want to make sure I'm also saying the things that Cade is doing well. Going north and south when it comes to attacking downhill. Um, he did that for about 3 quarters. Struggled in the fourth quarter because he got tired. Uh, but there was a play where Ivy's bringing it up. Cade was also looking for it, but Davion Mitchell was guarding him, the full court. So they give it to Cade. I'm sorry, they give it to Ivy. Ivy brings it up. And then right before the half court line, passes it to Cade. And Cade wisely takes a couple dribbles and gives it right back. I said, oh, okay, Cade's figuring it out. That's how you empower your teammate. No, you've got it. You've got it. I trust you. Go ahead. And here's the thing. This is one of the hardest things in the world when it comes to leadership. It's not just what you do when they're playing well. It's how you respond also when they fail and they fall short and you gave them trust, you empower them, and then they fail. How do you talk to them? What's your body language like? How do you continue to look at them and say, I have confidence, even if you need to take a step back right now? I'm still confident in you. I still need you. You're still in this with me, right? Asar Thompson tends to fade if he makes a mistake. How do you get him to stay in it with you? Now, I didn't have an opportunity to really delve in as much on Asar Thompson as I wanted to. One of the things that I really feel like he needs to work on is getting into a defensive stance. If Asar Thompson ever learns defensive technique, not just relying on his otherworldly athletic abilities and instincts and motor and length and size, all these kind of natural tendencies that follow his drive to be great on that end of the court, because you have to want it. You have to want to be great on that end of the court. And he does. He wants to be a great defender. And he is. But he lacks technique in a lot of ways. He lacks technique. And there were times where it would show up in that fourth quarter, especially when it came to getting around screens. You got to drop your butt. You got to get low so you can feel that screen with a strong base and then get skinny and then get low again. Using your reach to be able to keep yourself in position to contest a shot while also having the reach to detect that screen long before it gets there so you can then react to it and get skinny, get around it, and then get low again, right? These are these different techniques, right? Talking to the guy that's setting the screen. I just need a quick hedge. Just give me a quick hedge, right? Isaiah Stewart, give him a little step out, force Tyler Hero to go back just a little bit. And if he wants to drag it, trap him. You got 2 elite defenders on him. You should be able to trap him. Trap him. But these are the little things. And what's funny is when you watch the Miami Heat, because they've been through so much together, these guys know these little tricks and their timing is second nature. That's why they were able to get so many of those turnovers. Davion Mitchell turning Cade Cunningham all those times in the fourth quarter. The moment Cade turns his back and starts trying to back him down, and Davion is bodying him up and reaching in, Tyler Hero just comes in. He knows it's instinctual by now. They've talked about it. They probably practiced it. They've seen it in film, and they just say, "Hey, if a guy ever does this, just go in because he's going to be so worried about me, he's never going to see you." So these are things that we're still growing. We are still like literally, we are babies in this when it comes to winning as a franchise. We are babies taking steps, taking progressive steps a little bit at a time, figuring it out. There's so much meat on the bones at the end of these games. Yeah, he knows, great point, Devereaux. He knows Cade doesn't navigate doubles well. He doesn't. But the reality is, Cade is at his best when he's going downhill. Downhill meaning north, straight to the rim. I'm looking to score. If you're going to press me, I'm getting a bucket on you. I'm going to punish you every single time you pressure me. And if I don't have the energy to do that, I have to pass the ball. I have to give it up. And the thing is, but I can recognize that some lineups out there, he doesn't have another guy he trusts. And as good as Asar Thompson is, I don't know if Asar has that level of confidence saying in the fourth quarter, give me the ball, I'll get us into our offense. Or I can recognize when I need to create something, and then I have the confidence in whatever it is that I create. Dennis Jenkins does, though. Dennis Jenkins does. I was very impressed with Dennis Jenkins. Extremely impressed. His defense was A. A plus even. He was all over the court. His offense, I was a little bit worried in the first quarter when he came in. He looked like he was still trying to get himself going again. And the reason why I was worried is because I was concerned. I was like, did the Detroit Pistons, namely JB Bickerstaff and the front office, because a lot of these rotation decisions have to be made in conjunction with your front office. The general manager who signs guys, drafts guys, and wants to know that you're utilizing the team that he's putting together for its best outlook, right? To be able to maximize winning. And so sometimes there's a little bit of pressure. Hey, I got this guy. I think he'll really work for you. Do you think he'll really work? I think he could work for us. Okay, we want to try him out. Even if he's not playing well, you still want to see. You want to give it a full shot before you stop playing him because you invested in him. Literally, you've invested in giving him a contract when you could have gave someone else a contract, right? And so when it comes to minutes and playing time, there's a lot of reasons that go into who you play, what, when, etc. All that's to say is that as they figure that out, this roster is going to continue to fluctuate, and JB Bickerstaff is going to have to figure out who to play when. And what I was concerned with was that they missed Dennis Jenkins' window when he was ascending. We saw those 20-plus point games that he was having when Cade was out. He was running the show. He looked great. He looked natural. He looked like he was built for this moment, and he was just ascending. And then all of a sudden, Karis LeVert comes back, Jaden Ivey and Tobias Harris comes back, and all of a sudden he's on the fringes of the rotation, getting 8-9 minutes when he was getting 30. And then I said to myself, man, now when I see him in the game and he's only getting 8 minutes, he looks like he's just deferring. The reality is I want him to run the show even when Ivey's out there. I want him to run the show when Cade is out there. When Dennis is on the court, I want him running the show. Because nobody does it better. That's just the reality. Because Cade and Ivey are natural off-ball players. Natural. They are at their best. It doesn't mean that they don't have great skill on the ball. They both do. Extremely talented on the ball. But they're not guys who their predisposition is to set up the team, to make sure that they know where everyone is on the court, that everyone is in position, to understand what the offensive scheme is, and to be able to make sure that They are having a balanced offensive rotation that guys are getting the ball who need the ball in their spots. I know how to get the ball to certain people in their spots, and I'm making sure that this offense is flowing. Not everybody has that. That is a real skill. It is a real skill. And it feels like Dennis Jenkins has his 10,000 hours in that, and Cade is still at 4. Cade is more of a Brandon Roy who played next to Andre Miller, if y'all want to go back to Portland when they had LaMarcus Aldridge and Greg Oden. That was a team that probably would have competed for a championship had Greg Oden not gotten hurt and Brandon Roy didn't have knee issues. He's not Penny Hardaway. Cade Cunningham is not Penny Hardaway. He's more Brandon Roy. But here's the thing: Brandon Roy played, I want to say, 3-4 years in college. So he had gotten accustomed to playing within the flow of an offense, understanding what it looks like when teams are set up to stop you at the college level. And you have to bring along less talented players around you. And you have to lead them, not just be really good, but lead them. That is a skill. People just kind of throw it out there almost like uh, an emotional encouragement, right? You gotta, be determined. You gotta go for it. It's like, no, that's a set of skills. It's awareness. It's intentionality. It's communication skills. It's empathy and understanding while also a sense of responsibility, almost a bit of a paternalism where you're looking out for your squad, right? I did like that I saw that Cade Cunningham brought them together around the free throw line once. I was like, oh, okay. That's a sign that you're bringing them together and saying, yo, we need to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm noticing that we're doing this thing, make sure we're doing this other thing. Or I just heard the coach give us a play or a specific thing that we worked on that we wanted to focus on that he's reminding us of. And now I'm conveying it to the rest of y'all. Right. But these are skills. Dennis Jenkins just seems like he has his 10,000 hours in doing this. Cade doesn't. Right now, Cade at his best, I think, is an off ball scorer. At his best. Can he play point? Yes. Can he facilitate? Yes. Can he play make at a high level? Yes. Is that where he's at his best? No. Because at his best, he's more like MJ. Get him the ball in his spots and let him go to work. Because when he's going to work, he's a monster. He's a monster. But when he's flipping between this, how do I set up my guys, especially when he's tired? Especially when he's tired, he becomes something that he's not. When he gets tired, he defaults. Instead of letting someone else initiate the offense, playing off the ball and catching his wind, getting into a natural rhythm, locking in on defense and what this team is needing and doing, when he gets tired, that's when he starts turning into, he thinks he's Andre Miller. I was going to turn my back on my defender and set up the offense. That's his Achilles heel. We have to know that. I believe he knows that. And we need to know that we have an answer for that. And I think that answer is Dennis Jenkins. Leading Lions. What's good, Leading Lions? I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's good to see you in the chat. Salute, brother. We don't like to give credit to Ivy when credit is due. He was solid, even in the box score, plus and minus. I'm gonna be honest. Ivy was also a part of a really good lineup. Remember, plus minus is also about who you're playing with. He was playing alongside Ron Holland, Paul Reed, Dennis Jenkins. A little bit of Javonte Green, but also one of the starters as well. Those lineups, strong defenders that created a lot of turnovers, that got us a lot of easy buckets. A part of that plus minus was also who he was playing with. I don't want to take it away from him, but he also had some plays I was like, come on, Ivy. But he's getting there. And I want to say this, Leading Lions, that He is improving. I'm seeing it. It's incremental, it's timing, it's rhythm, it's getting to that edge. It's almost like as a boxer, you're getting ready for a big fight, but you don't want to like overtrain to where you get into your fight and you're just exhausted and you're tired. You want to like scale up and then kind of like as you're about to peak, as you're getting close to that peak, you want to taper it off a little bit, and reserve your energy. And then you kind of, right before your fight, get right back to that razor edge so you're super sharp. Right now, Ivy is still trying to get up to that edge. He's trying to get up to that edge. He's not there yet. So it's going to look ugly at times. A turnover here, miss layup there, uh, timing might be off, not quite in the rhythm. There was a moment where he drove to the basket. He had a nice move. He beat his man. Um, Kalel Ware challenges, and he does this like contortion in the air. And instead of just dropping it off to Paul Reed behind Kalel Ware, he tries to throw up this little hook, and Kalel Ware just spikes that thing like a volleyball player. And it was one of those blocks. It was like, bro, you didn't see him? You didn't see the 7'1", 7'6" wingspan, athletic pogo stick center jumping in the air, towering over you like a shadow, like a New York trade building, just waiting for you to put that thing up. Why didn't you just drop that thing off? Right? But that's timing. That's awareness. That's getting back into your rhythm and making sure that you're aware of what you're doing on the court, not just being so determined to drive in and get yourself going. But he is getting better. And this is why he needs these minutes. He needs these reps to fuck up. If we're honest, Cade, Asar, Ron, they need this time to fuck up. They need it. They need these reps. Jalen Duren, too. They need fuck up reps in front of everybody. And then to get criticized. And then for the coaches to go, that's okay. We're going to work on that. We're going to put together a game plan so that you can develop these skills, so you can execute. And then you work on it. And then you fuck up some more. And a little bit more. And then eventually you hit a turning point where the reps you continue to put in your preparation for games begins to pay off and it becomes second nature. And now that thing, that area where you used to mess up all the time, now becomes your second nature and now it becomes a strength. And when you add that to everything else that you do, now you're that much more solidified. That's how it works. That's how it works. No one has ever had to be perfect to be great. But you need these reps to round out your game, to get sharp, to understand yourself and play into your strengths, maximize what you can be for this team. I think I saw someone I think they responded to a post that I put up today. They said, I think that the Detroit Pistons need to switch back into more of development and play these young guys. He said, because I would rather, I almost want to see if I could find that comment, but he said, I would rather see us lose and developing the young guys for our future than playing these old veterans heavy minutes and barely win. In other words, playing Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert 25, 35 minutes a game and barely winning is not as advantageous for where we're trying to go as playing Ivy the 20 minutes, Asar 30 plus minutes, Duran 30 plus minutes, you know, and letting these guys, Ron Holland 15 to 20 minutes, and letting these guys work it out. If they fail, they fail. That's how they grow. And unless you're saying Karis LeVert is going to be a part of our core getting to a championship, if that's what you're saying, okay, then just say that and let us disagree with you. But if he's an auxiliary piece that's come in and being brought in to support these other guys, like Tobias Harris was, then that's the expected role, to support them. and your ability to support them. It doesn't mean you don't score, it means you score off of them. You move well without the ball. You dive to the basket when you recognize they're in trouble. You rotate without the ball on the perimeter as a release valve for them to kick it out. You hit the offensive glass so you can get us a second chance and kick it out so they can get a wide open shot. You're a secondary offensive initiator when you recognize that Cade is tired. We're struggling at the bucket, Cade stumbling, and you're Tobias Harris. Let me get in the post real quick. Give me the ball. I got it. I got it. That's how we need you to play off of them, not hijack and be a primary focal point of our offense. And even then, we need you to be a better defender, Karis LeVert. But at the same time, if I'm honest with you, I think we just need to play Dennis Jenkins. Yo, Big Ag, what's good? It's good to see you in the chat. Salute, brother. Was the communication being spoken when he got ripped 2 or 3 times? You know, somebody was supposed to yell at him. Somebody was supposed to yell at Cade. Somebody was supposed to yell at Cade. If you're tired, pass the fucking ball. You turn it over once down the stretch, those last 3 minutes of crunch time, you turn it over once, and we're looking at you like, you good, bruh? You good? That's like when you're all driving in the car. When you're all driving in the car. No, I think Dennis yelled at him when he fouled Norman Powell. He was reaching in again, he put him on the free throw line. He's like, "Yo, bruh, we're putting him on the free throw line. That's letting them stop the clock and still score and get back into this game. Like, get locked in." But that first time Cade turned the ball over when it was in crunch time, and he lost the ball, or he got it knocked away. Really, he got his cookies took. He got his cookies took. They should have been looking at him like when you all coming back from that house party or from the club, and you in your partner's car, and he look a little sleepy, and you know he drank a little bit, but he said he was cool, and then he goes over those bumps, and you driving on the freeway, and then you hear, and he comes back, and you look at him, and you like, you good, right? That's how we got to look at Cade when he turns it over. Hey, you good, bruh? You got it? Hey, because I could drive. I could drive. You good? It's good. I mean, it's cool. If you're tired, hey, it's good. I just get it's only about 15 minutes to get back, 20 minutes to get back. I got it. I got it. I got it. You sure? You sure? Because and that's the hint. Like, hey, I believe in you, my G. But if I hear again, pull over, bro. Pull over, bro. By that second turnover, should have been like, nope, nope. Get your ass to the sideline. Nope. Get in the passenger seat. Nope. We not doing this. We not doing this, Cade. We not doing this. Nope. Nope. We not doing this without trying something else first. Pull over. Pull over. Sorry. Sorry about that. But that's how you gotta look at him. Hit the alarm. Somebody gotta hit the alarm. Okay. Oh, he out here doing on that bullshit. He on that bullshit. Timeout. And to JB Bickerstaff's credit, he got in Dennis Jenkins. He brought him back in, to his credit. But let me say this. The Detroit Pistons won this game because we played Detroit basketball. Defense, physicality, toughness. Well, I mean, is it just me? I will say I have to give JB credit because he didn't do the same thing he did last night. He put Dennis Jenkins in. And a part of that was Karis LeVert doesn't play back-to-backs because he's a bit fragile. But Dennis Jenkins, he put in that fourth quarter. And Dennis Jenkins brought us on home. He made 3 out of 4 free throws. He got the layup. He got the inbounds, right? Controlled handle. People don't know how you're on an island in that moment. Your level of confidence has to be sky high when it comes to handling the ball against pressure. Dennis Jenkins was like, I got it. No, we're good. And I keep saying Dennis Jenkins' minutes needs to get back up to where it was. It needs to be at around 24 minutes a game. That's what we need to see. That's what I need to see. I need 24 minutes of Dennis Jenkins. The reality is we need to probably bring Duncan Robinson's minutes down, keep it around 30. He's playing great for us. He had a great game, comeback game in Miami, 7 of 14 from the field, 3 of 9 from three. Most importantly, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 1 turnover, plus 17 in the starting lineup. You know, this is going to be the journey. I hope y'all are ready for this roller coaster ride. I hope y'all are ready. I don't know if y'all are ready. I hope y'all are ready. Like I said, I don't know if y'all are ready. I don't know if I'm ready, but I hope y'all are ready. I hope y'all are ready because this is going to be the Detroit Pistons ride for the next month. They are going to be gut wrenching at times, terrible plays, and they are going to be exciting at other times, making fantastic plays. They're going to get you excited playing Detroit basketball, tough defense, steals, deflections, grabbing rebounds, block shots, that energy. And then there's going to be moments where they are just absolutely flat. They come out for a game flat. Cade gets subbed back in the fourth quarter. He's flat. That's just going to be the flow. It just is. I hope we're ready for it. Hope you got your blood pressure medicine. Maybe take a jog, get your heart rate up. If you older like me, I'm a little bit older than I look. But if as you get older, you got to start working on that cardio. Some of us still in the gym trying to lift weights and we want big biceps. What we need is a strong heart. And if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, you better have a strong heart because these young boys are gonna put you through it, like your kids getting through high school. They gonna put you through it. You better be working on that patience, like a bench press. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Count to 10, count to 10, count to 10, count to 10. Be curious, leave space. They're figuring it out. You had to figure it out too. You had to figure it out too. Okay. You got to work on it. You got to work on it. Because that's what this season is going to be. There are going to be some moments, man. And I still see Isaiah Stewart even. Isaiah Stewart, I want to say he's only, 24, 25 years old. But there's times Isaiah Stewart be driving me crazy. I'm like, Stu, some of these fouls are unnecessary. Don't you know we need you in this game? I still wanted to see more threes by Stu. I want to see at least 3-point shot attempts by Stu every game. At least 3. Yeah, you can post up, but I don't need you posting up everybody every time, bro. It's good when you can. I don't mind you facing up and going to go get a bucket, but also remember you're a deadly pick and pop big. Right? Balance that thing out. Go look over at Onyeka Okongwu over in Atlanta. That boy is in and out. That boy is, he don't have the wingspan you really have, and he's not as burly. He doesn't have those broad shoulders really create space and shoot over the top when it comes to that jump hook. But man, he uses that 3-point jumper. He uses it well. Teams, when they have to deal with Onyeka, they know he's going to shoot it. And that's what I need folks to become aware of you, Isaiah Stewart. Shoot threes. Yes, and Paul Reed made a 3. Paul Reed, look, I can't say enough about Paul Reed. Thank you for bringing him up. Thank you for bringing him up. I cannot say enough about Paul Reed. I, he just stays ready time and time again. Time and time again. He just stays so ready. I, I I'm at a place I would rather see Paul Reed minutes. Man, and it's gonna feel like I'm bagging on Karis LeVert. I hate that it feels like that because I think he's a cool dude. I think he's got a nice, slick game off the bounce. You talk to people in the NBA, he's a bucket. Everybody's like, man, this dude gets buckets. But the reality is he's not Detroit basketball. And when you have better options for Detroit basketball, you gotta lean into it. I would rather see a lineup of Isaiah Stewart, Paul Reed, Ron Holland, Jaden Ivey, and Dennis Jenkins instead of Karis LeVert. He gives us more positional size, rebounding, rim protection, offensive boards. He hustles, he gets deflections, he communicates, plays a high level of defense. He can move his feet and he can score. He's confident. Even that move where he stepped under, I'm going to be honest, I think that move was good. He did a little kind of like cross, little step back pump and took that step underneath. It just, honestly, it just, sometimes a ref will call a travel when it doesn't look like you should be able to do that. You just got to keep doing it. But he created his own shot. Respect. And then, even though he got a travel called on him, he had the confidence to come right back and hit another jumper, hit another three, came right back. He didn't hesitate. I love that about him. Shot 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 turnovers, 13 points in this game, plus 10, and it's plus minus. His minutes were invaluable. 19 minutes off the bench. Him and Ron Holland and Dennis Jenkins, they were our bench tonight. They were our bench. Got to give love to Paul Reed. Hell of a game. To outplay Khalil Ware, he just wanted it more. He was more crafty, more experienced, more physical, more determined, and he had more know-how. Shout out to him. Before I get off, also I need to make sure I give a shout out to Tobias Harris. I mean, he shot 10 of 12. Not damn. 10 of 12. That's incredible. 83% from the field, 4 of 6 from the 3-point line, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, but at 26 points, our second leading scorer, 2 games in a row. Mommy, leave it. Unless you're going to put it away. Yeah, we could play after this. We'll just play one more game, okay? Me and my kid been playing Jenga all day. I'm up 4-3. Or it's 3-3. 3-3. Look, this team had a hell of a game. Yeah, Bane ate him up last night. But, I mean, Tobias Harris should never really been guarding Desmond Bane. But it was kind of a lineup situation. They wanted to put Asar Thompson on Franz Wagner. I'm okay with that. It's just you have to deal with, like, the reality of who's going to now guard Desmond Bane. All to say, hell of a game by the Pistons. Hell of a game by the Pistons. Always like to leave us with a word of the day afterwards. Today is just honestly it's just like these Pistons, man. You just have to take the journey, you know. I don't try to point shade with it. Hey, we competitive in this house. We competitive in this house. And she was bumping my arm, bro. She was fouling. She was fouling. You can't be fouling people in Jenga. I was not, and you were too. It's all good. It's all good. But now, word of the day, take your journey, man. Take your journey. You're gonna have to fail a whole lot in anything that you do. The only difference is for a lot of us, we got our failures out in first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way through high school, senior. graduate, maybe college, maybe trade school, maybe just working a job or starting a company. We've got a lot of failures out. And then there's an opportunity sometimes to do things that you've always wanted to do, things that you are starting, whether it's parenthood, a new relationship. You're going to have to fail. You're going to have to. No one has ever had to be perfect to be great. You do have to accept yourself. You do have to understand yourself, trust yourself, and then take the journey. And the journey is always going to include failure. You got to embrace that. So just like we doing with this team, whew, the ups and the downs, got me thinking of Chance the Rapper's song, The Highs and the Lows. Whew, highs and lows, but it is what it is. That's life. It's your life. Everyone else's is already taken. So you might as well take yours. Yo, I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Yeah, that is from that song. I didn't steal it. All right, that's from I forgot his name. What's his name? You forgot his name. It's on your playlist. You forgot his name too, so don't blame me for forgetting his name. All right. Yeah, Raindance by somebody. I forget his name. Um, kind of a dope artist. Either way, I'll figure out his name. Have a great night. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. Get some rest. Remember, live life to the fullest, man. Go for yours. Don't hold back. Take your journey. Laugh hard as hell. Love somebody. Hug them today. Have an amazing night. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.